How about you?
I did have a question though, because
Yeah.
it's also something I care about and struggle with. Is this like you have a focus and you get a distraction, and sometimes you want to say yes to opportunities and explore, but sometimes you want to focus and exploit the thing you're intentionally deciding on.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you like balance that? And it seemed to me like it's like you need an SOP, a checklist, a something to like, oh shit, someone's asking me if I have time to do X. So it's like, quick, let's like pull up this document
Yeah.
and be like, but I'm curious, like, well, how would you even do that? Because sometimes it's like, oh, I should just go. But other times it's like, oh, they're going to eat pizza. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't really. But other times it's like, let's go dance or watch a movie. It's like, well, I could do this or I could do that. It's like,
Yeah, sometimes it feels important,
I
right?
don't know. Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, oh, that feels like the spice of life. Like that feels like something that I should
Mm-hmm.
not miss out on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think like in those moments, I think a really good uh protocol is probably just to gauge how you're feeling about it. Where it's like, if you are sick and disgusted with how little focus that you've had, then work. And if you are like in a state where it's like you really wanted to focus, but it's like you could sacrifice it, you don't really care that much, and it sounds pretty fun, then go do it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like just kind of gauge. Because I always tell people it's like you have there are like only two forms of work related anxiety. Um, like there are literally only two forms. It's like one is, oh my gosh, it's hard. I don't want to work. Like that's number one. That's the one that people are the most familiar with. And then there's the other one, which can sometimes be mistaken as type one. But it's different where it's like your brain is basically saying, oh my gosh, I want to work. I want to work. I want to work. And I'm not doing anything. And it's like driving me insane. And you can like misinterpret it as like overwhelm or like anxiety. It's like, and we'll try and like, it's basically the difference between like pushing yourself harder than you need to and suppressing yourself when you shouldn't be. It's kind of the different states of being there as far as work related anxiety. And so kind of just tapping into that framework where it's like, okay, well, which one am I right now? And if you can figure that out where it's like, I don't want to work, or it's like I'm chill, and I want to go do the thing, then you go do that. And then if it's like I'm literally disgusted and like feeling like skin crawling because I haven't been productive and I'm like thinking about the future and like how it's dying. And so it's like in that moment you need to just like tell them no, you know. In fact, I would say a really good rule for life, like a super healthy and useful protocol, if you're a moral person, is literally just doing whatever you want. And if you kind of have this mindset of, I'm literally just going to do whatever I want, like people just due to like the noise in life and like the expectations of culture and society, we kind of just don't do this anymore. Like the vast majority of people do not live life doing whatever they want. They are like moment to moment, basically beating themselves up, telling themselves they have to do this, telling themselves they have to do that. But like you have a natural desire to work. Like it's in there and it will flare up randomly. And it's like you can just act on it when it flares up. But like living a life where it's like you're going to do whatever you want and you're going to be hardcore. So it's like I'm going to rest hard, I'm going to play hard, and I'm going to work hard. You know, like our brains really like that. And you will kind of just naturally cycle between them. Um, it's just learning how to trust that, which I think systems are still important, but like the systems can also just be the guide like a schedule's a guide. It's not like a hard thing that you follow. If you are and like when I say this, it could sound like, oh, but like temptation, because like temptation is something that you want to do. And like, yes, like there is desire from temptation, things that will like lead you away from being productive. But the thing is, okay, I actually want to dive into something, and
Mm.
it is kind of, well, yeah, I'll just pop into it. Okay, so your ACC, which is your anterior cingulate cortex, is kind of like the alarm bell for your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, which you can think of as your brain's CEO. It's like the guy who wakes up and does the work. Now, in order to engage the CEO, you have to ring the ACC. And the way that you do that is just by evaluating costs. And it also specifically works when managing desire. So it's like you become more aware. That's the first step. You need to become aware of your internal thoughts and feelings. And that will start to light up the ACC and start to light up the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. And then from there, as you evaluate costs between different choices that you have, the ACC will work harder, which will wake up your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex more, which is like the strategic executor. And so really what you can do is like, you actually can live a life where you're just managing desire. And like, that's what you're doing. If you are able to just like have that where it's like, you're not literally going to only ever do whatever you feel an impulse to do. It's you're going to sit there and think about it. What do I really want? Like I have these conflicting desires. Which one am I going to pick? And being more mindful and starting to live a life where that is sort of the SOP for your life. Because then you'll have this cost evaluation in your mind where it's like, oh, I could scroll on YouTube for 4 hours, and you'll tell yourself it's going to be 5 minutes. But then you evaluate the cost, and it's like, but I know that that's not what's going to happen. And on top of that, it's going to like make me more brain rot, and it's going to like steal my time, and my time won't go into my dreams. And you can like do this cost evaluation where you come up with the idea where it's like, if I say yes to this, my whole dopamine system's going to be screwed. It's going to waste my time. I'm not going to get what I want out of life. It's going to snowball into like a greater effect and create my personality as a person. And then when your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex is awake, it's the doing stuff part of your brain. And so then it will literally just send the signal, don't do it. Like, go work instead. Like, work is not hard when that part of your brain wakes up, but you have to wake it up. And the way you wake it up is by becoming more aware of what you actually want and like evaluating the costs. Because that wakes up the ACC, which wakes up the CEO. Like, it automatically wakes them up in that order. So you can live a life where you're just basically managing desire, where it's like, okay, I want this, but I want my future more. And then like that right there will give you dopamine, wake up the CEO, and then you start working. And then it's not hard. In fact, this is actually like part of why just becoming aware of resistance works, where it's like, oh, I'm just going to become aware of resistance and then like call resistance out like he's silly, like, oh, he's stealing from me. Like it's not true what he's saying. You could think of, I mean, they're basically almost one and the same, where it's like when you become aware of resistance, it's like you're kind of engaging in this, and the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex is lighting up. And then because of that, you naturally just get kicked into the work mode. And so then the resistance is gone. because the resistance is only something that is keeping you from getting into the work mode. So it doesn't take any effort. It just takes awareness and managing your desire. Any thoughts?
Yeah, dude. This is like exactly what I want to learn, and to systematize.
Well, there you have it. Like, that's a really good system. Just living like, which I always think in terms of systems, it may not necessarily seem like one, but your mindsets are, think of mindsets as like God's automation. It's like that is how you automate for a life that you want, is by instilling certain mindsets. Your brain needs to be a mindset machine which helps you in your decision making and helps you manage your desires. So the more positive mindsets that you build up, the better you're going to be. And the easier all of this is going to be. And so you'll get to the point where you just do this stuff naturally because your identity has changed because you built up enough mindsets that changed you. Right? So that's one that helps a lot, is just, I'm going to do whatever I want. That's how I'm going to live.
Well, I mean, you could certainly misinterpret whatever I want as something else, but
Yeah. But I mean, you know what I mean?
childish almost.
Yeah.
But it's a deeper. Yeah.
You have to be aware and intentional.
Integrated.
Yes.
Holistic.
I like that.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so kind of what I wanted to focus on for myself is essentially laying out some of the structure layout of my home base, the portal room, the hub, and one of the things I realized while you were talking was like mindsets as God's automation. I've been kind of thinking about this in sort of the back burner. It's like, how can we change faster? How can we grow more effectively, faster, or better, or what? I mean, really, it's faster, I guess. But
yeah,
because like there's stuff about habit formation that says like, oh, focus on one habit at a time. Gonna take like a month or more. Change one thing and that's it. And I guess I agree, but I also think that we can do better. And I think the limitation that I'm seeing is that when this stuff lives in your brain, it's really like shit at remembering this stuff consistently, day after day, week after week.
Yep.
But when you can externalize it into a post-it note, a change in your environment, some routine, incorporate into a routine, I think you can actually change a lot very quickly. And I kind of think that's what like I like the framing of automation because it's also like kind of programming or hacker mindset. It's like, what hacks, what shortcuts, what techniques can we use, find, create to help us live the life we want more effectively, with more joy, with more ease. And I think a big one is like this mindset thing. Like I want a big fucking reminder on my home page or somewhere that's reminds me of this. Like so I'm just thinking about like the layout of this stuff. Like I want a place where the mindsets I'm trying to habituate, make it into a
Instill.
habit, a default.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or somewhere, kind of like an altar, a shrine. It's like, okay, I'm trying to, I pray here, I ask for these things, I'm reminded of these things by the pictures, the artifacts.
Mm-hmm. Like you need a system where it's like you show up and it starts to seed things into your brain in an optimized way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, no.
It's like NLP and more, but
What's that? NLP.
neuro linguistic programming. I mean, it's a little, I don't know if it's controversial or in question, but the idea is like we're trying to reprogram to manipulate our minds,
Oh, yeah.
our egos.
I mean, that's
We're doing
that's
magic.
yeah, that's what the road to success is like programming yourself, reprogramming yourself. Um
Mm-hmm.
and if you focus on that, like if you improve yourself, it's like everything else just also improves. Like that's how it works. Um
Mm-hmm.
that's why self-improvement is so important because like that is literally going to be the result of everything in your life. Um is like
Yeah.
how good is your system, you know? How operational,
Mm-hmm.
how functional is your system? What are the inputs? What are the outputs? Do you have an input of like you see people arguing on the internet and then the output is like you also start arguing? Or do you have an output of like you see that and then you just ignore it and then you like intentionally go and do something that's more productive, you know? Like do you just get
Mm-hmm.
disgusted and are like, "Oh, gross. People are arguing. I'm going to go do something else." You know? Um like just tweaking and optimizing your human system, your brain. Like your brain and your personality are systems. Your identity is a system. Optimization is a way of life. But as far as like having that sort of thing that reminds you, I think something that would probably be really powerful for that in your program, which I gotta ask you to show me that, like on video if you're
Mm-hmm.
willing. Which, by the way, I am recording, so let me know if you're comfortable doing that.
Oh, right now it's not in a place where it's anything substantial.
Okay, cool, cool.
Kind of what I wanted to talk about is like what should it be? What should be in it?
I see. Um, but like my suggestion for that, honestly, I've seen this in some dashboards. I thought it was cool, and I vibe coded something in the past, and I basically had something like this, and I thought that it was nice. Like I'd switch to the tab and I'd look at it, and it'd make me laugh. Um, and I just remember it. It was memorable, and I think it did its job. Uh, is basically you could have something where it's like a widget, or like a box or frame, and then it has like a quote on it. And the quote could even just be a message from you to you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
remember to celebrate your wins or something. Or like, you are a person who celebrates your wins. Make it tie it more into your identity to change faster. You're a person who celebrates your wins. Have you celebrated your win? Um, and then you could also like have each quote maybe, and I think that's just the minimum viable version where it's like you basically just have them in a list like swapping out, right? But then if you want to take it a little bit further, you can include images with each one, so then you have a visual tie as well. And I think that those two things, where it's just like a widget that's constantly like ever present, maybe it changes every like 45 minutes on a loop. Um, I think that'd be pretty good for a start on that.
Hmm. So the dialogue. Yeah. So I had this actually. I think um, years ago, where you would start a timer. Oh no, I think I was doing it like every 3 hours or something. It would open up a little dialogue, and it'd be like, "So what did you do? What are you going to do? Here's a quote or something. Here's a video." Like it's just this way to make sure to keep you in awareness and intentionality.
Mm.
But I think you could do it like you set a timer, basically. Like, okay, I'm planning to do this. I'm gonna aim for an hour, and at the end of it, it's a check-in. Okay, how'd that go? Here's a reminder, a quote or something with an image, a video.
Oh, I like the sound of that. Like having like a timer where it's like this is basically like your Pomodoro timer or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You start it,
Yeah.
and then it like at the end it basically makes you do an eval, but then also reminds you of something important with the video. That's overpowered because the video is also stimulation, which creates a dopamine feedback loop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really good. That's smart. I think you should do that. Mm.
Yeah, I'm aware of that one. I think what I need is like, what's the layout of the ship, basically. Like,
I see. I see. Well, I'll tell you how my little like vibe coded project was, and then maybe that will um influence your thinking or help some way. So
mhm.
how how mine was set up was there was a Pomodoro timer, and the timer had a drop down where you could select different settings. Now I tend to like the Flowmodoro more these days. Um, in fact, I
Mm.
kind of I recommend Pomodoro for tasks that you really don't enjoy, but Flowmodoro after you kind of level up the dopamine daisy chain and you get to the point where it's like, oh, it's not that bad, and I can like do this for longer, you know.
Mm.
So maybe having it so you like if you wanted to copy this, you could make it so that like another option is like Flowmodoro or Pomodoro, and then if you choose Pomodoro, like you put in how much time, or you have
What's
selections of how much time.
what is the difference?
So
Flow.
Pomodoro is you uh it basically is like a time split where it's like, oh, you work 50 minutes, you have like 10 minutes off, or you work for 20 minutes, you have 5
Mm-hmm.
minutes off, or whatever it is. There's a bunch of different Pomodoro splits. Where it's like you're giving your brain a break, and then jumping back into it. But the Flowmodoro, the problem with the Pomodoro is it will interrupt you if you're in a flow. Where it's like you may be in a flow state and you
Oh.
can keep going for like 2 hours. And so the way that Flowmodoro fixes that is it's not a fixed time. It's you start the timer when you start working and you stop it when you feel like not working anymore. But there is some sort of math relationship there where when you stop it,
Oh
it
my
starts the
God!
break
Wait,
timer.
that's genius.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I freaking love it.
I
Um,
see. Okay.
yeah, if
So it
you
keeps track and then gives you a break of some ratio fraction.
yes, exactly.
Okay. That does solve like a problem of just like, but I want to keep going. Don't bother me. I'm not done.
Yeah, yeah.
Not ready. But then
Exactly.
sometimes you do. Okay. I mean, there is a little bit of like a learning curve there of like, I don't want to push myself so hard that I forget to eat or something because that generally isn't never worth the price for me.
Yeah.
But um, I do like it.
Wait, Anthony, I got a question. Do you
Yeah.
um is that something that will happen to you where you'll get like so locked in you forget to eat?
Oh, dude, it's like oh, I need to eat, I need to pee, I need to do this, but I'm like, no, I'm not done. I want more.
Dude,
Uh,
dude,
so, yes.
I hate to tell you. I hate to tell
Mm.
you. You got
Am I a
ADHD.
workaholic?
I'm pretty
Oh
sure you have
no.
ADHD, man. Like
Oh no.
everything you're saying, but then like that is one of like the hallmark traits is like that
All
specifically.
right.
So, yeah, dude, I'm pretty sure you have ADHD.
All right. Well, guess it makes sense now that why I'm here, huh? All
Yep.
right.
I think the men's academy is full of people with either the gifted archetype, or not archetype, neurotype, or the ADHD neurotype. And then most people, I think the majority of people with ADHD also have the gifted neurotype. It's like it
Yeah.
goes like gifted and then ADHD, where it's like if you have ADHD, you have a higher likelihood of also having the gifted. And then autism, where it's like if you have autism, you have a higher chance of having ADHD, and then that also inherently gives you a higher chance of having gifted.
Mm.
So, kind of
Mm-hmm.
the pipeline. But um but yeah, no. That rings a bell.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the Flomodoro definitely can do that, and my recommendation for that is you need to have reminders uh that are based around your workflow where it's like I kind of teach people like, oh, you don't have to be consistent. Consistency can look different every day. But obviously, like there are some perks that come with consistency. And sometimes you will naturally fall into having some consistency where it's like, oh, I know that at about sunset is when I like get really locked in for whatever reason. Like that's just a pattern that arises. Like that's data that
Mm-hmm.
you collect where it's like, okay, then maybe if that's the case, I will make a reminder on my Alexa or on my um, calendar where it pushes a desktop notification where it's like, hey, dude, go eat, you know? And then it's like, no matter what I'm doing, I have like a self rule where it's like, when that pops up, I must go eat if I haven't already eaten. Like that's the rule. And then you do it, if you actually do it, if you're finding it hard to actually stick to it, where it's like you have resistance to it, then maybe tie it to a reward where it's like, if you do that, you get 1 XP or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
XP, honestly, could also be points. Like you could have some sort of system in place for like paying yourself, where it's like you have like a XP to dollar or time like conversion system, where it's like you can spend X amount of time on one domain or like one area where you want to if you earn enough points, or you can spend money on something if you have enough points, or it's like you trade them in for time or for points. Um, I think that is actually also a really good system.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm sort of realizing I have a lot of resistance to points and reward incentive systems, and um, I could share an example, but if we're recording it, and I want to make it public, so I won't share that. But let's just say that
I can cut it out if you want.
I
Just tell me
no,
to cut it out.
it's all right. I don't have to. Just basically like certain things I didn't want to be a reward. I just wanted it to be a thing I did for myself or got,
Mm,
and sort of realizing that I can be intentional and careful, wise in how I do that, where, with what I do that. So it's not that I can no longer rest or game or something unless I have the points. It's this like extra incentive,
Yeah.
extra credit. So that I'm definitely aware that's something I need to figure out, explore.
I mean,
But
go ahead.
I kind of want to come back to the ship, to be honest. Kind of deviating. I mean, this stuff is interesting, but I kind of feel like I'm in the trap right now of I I I'm like panning for gold, but my sieve, my filter is broken, and I'm
Gotcha.
not able to hold on to this stuff. So it's like,
Okay.
okay, what's the first step? And so like, what goes on my homepage? And right now, what I envisioned was, and I've got this working actually. Well, no, I don't. I've got a bug. Ah, bugs. Anyway, so the idea is, I log in, like I unlock my computer. I am presented with my homepage, and my thinking was I'd have some like meditation or flow music and a video. Maybe they're chosen at random. Maybe I can choose from some options, but it's something to kind of prime me, or like prime me to inspire me. Maybe some images, I guess, like a vision board or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like a, I don't know if it's a next button, but, or if it's links, but then I go to the second page, and maybe that's the hub.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. So there's the entrance, the priming. Then I arrive in the hub, and there I see kind of everything, which is overwhelming. It's like, what is the abstraction there? There's quite a few ways. I mean, there's just so much, right? Like, I want so much on that hub that a single screen
Yeah.
cannot be enough. And I'm realizing that I'd have that same limitation even in 3D. Like,
Yeah.
like no matter what, there's a limited amount of space and time and attention. So you have to have hierarchy. And why this feels so difficult, I'm realizing, is this is like me prioritizing what I value.
Hmm.
Like this is kind of like an exercise in, what do I care about the most? How do I what is the structure of my mind and my heart? And I'm also running into, very briefly, because I haven't actually, this is like the first time, last couple of days I've had to really do this, but I've run into it in the past of like perfectionism. I have to have the perfect plan before I build it, rather than, hey, I can build one version, see how it feels, tweak it, like
Yeah.
iterate. I don't think I'm running into it here, but just like, what is that hierarchy? And there's so many models, dude, like, to organize that. So many things I want to put on there. And there's like the constraint of making this engaging, making this not overwhelming, like enjoyable. I'm like, oh,
Ooh.
I want a quote, I want a pictures, I want my areas and the projects and the mindsets, and it's like, okay, this is a lot. So I was going to say one more thing. What the hell was it? Well, I don't know. You go.
Yeah. I'm quite familiar with this problem.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I want to give you a. Now, I know Elon Musk is very like almost like the exact opposite of kind of what I teach, but I do like this one quote from him, this one mindset that he has where if you don't have to add stuff back, you didn't delete enough. Like he's just ruthless about deletion.
Mm.
Like
Mhm.
less, 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 less is more, less is more, less is more. Um, because it takes very little to take action. Like action is just action. And that's kind of what he lives by is like you don't really need much other than what's going to allow for the next action. You know what I mean? Um, and so my recommendation for this would be to make it similar to kind of how we have the Notion, where it's like it's not super fancy, it's not anything crazy. It's just like maybe you have like a widget where it's like these are your SOPs. Maybe you have a widget, and by widget I mean like button, where it's like maybe it's a picture and like a cute little button, and it's like, and then maybe here you have your we'll call it like mental playground or something. And then maybe you have one where there was something I was thinking about and I'm forgetting it now. It's important though. Uh, maybe that's like the, I don't know, like the workstation or something. I don't know. Which I mean,
Mhm.
I could think of more optimized ways to do this, but you kind of get what I'm saying. Where it's like it's very simple. It's just like literally like a file directory system, where it's like you go in and then you are presented with the next options, organized in a way where it's not going to be like mind numbing, you know, or using buttons. And here's one tip, which I used this when I vibe coded that like flow thing, was sound effects. You can
Mhm.
tie sound effects to certain things, and your brain will be like, "Ooh, stimulation! I like that." It's like a reward if it's a satisfying sound. So if you can find like a really good sound effect where it's like just brain candy, for when you do certain things that you want to do, where it's maybe you have like three sounds. Maybe you have like a kind of like a simple sound when you open the SOP, and maybe you have like a really like brain candy sound when you open the workstation, uh,
I
or
mean,
something.
we're like using gamification techniques
Yeah,
essentially.
literally.
It's
Yeah,
like
no, that's what you're
let's make
doing.
this engaging, stimulating. Um,
Absolutely. In fact, a way of thinking about this dashboard or this ship that you're building, because I think it's a little bit more intense than a dashboard. It sounds to me uh,
yeah.
is like this is kind of your blessed machine. So like what
Mm.
you um like that's kind of a way you could think about it is like you know how you have to like click through menus in a video game. Maybe it's like a top-down
Mhm.
strategy game or something where it's like you click through the menus, there's like the music, and then there's like the weird uh like images, like the gifs of people. In fact, dude, honestly, you could probably have the design philosophy of making it like a video game menu. Like that would actually probably be pretty cool. But
Hmm. Kind of not picturing exactly the menu you mean, but in the abstract, I like it.
yeah. Um and I mean, you could also make it more interesting than that and more interactive than that by making it something where it's like, oh, it's not like buttons on a screen. It's like I have a map or I have like a picture and it's like on that picture, it's like I get to pick one. Or it's like over here is like this or over here is this or and you like click on it and
Right.
like
I was picturing the kids next door treehouse. Can I put images in here?
yes, you can.
Uh, I don't even know. Sure. Right. It's like this,
Yeah.
and um, yeah, like for example, these characters. Okay, I don't want to do that. Is there like a highlight or
There is.
laser pointer? Laser pointer. So, um, Okay, that's cool.
Oh, sorry. But that was something
Not
else.
where I think I am, but it works. Okay, so like this would be an AI. Like you could click on a picture of a person and you could start having a conversation with an AI or something. You could click on a place and be like, I'm gonna enter my uh, crazy project place, my art studio, my office, my control center, my entertainment exploration hub, and it's literally like this image with uh, some kind of invisible, or maybe visible, I don't know, but like this whole area becomes clickable and it takes you to a web page,
Dude, that's
or it
freaking
does something.
genius. No,
Um,
that's actually great. I love that.
yeah. Um, now that I think about it, you could use pictures. You could use AI to make pictures.
Oh yeah, no.
um, um,
It
yeah,
reminds
and then like
me
you have audio playing in the background whenever you enter here. You have sound effects.
sound
What
effects when
does
you
it
like
remind
hover
you?
over things. It's like
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun,
Oh, a
dun,
little
dun, dun.
preview. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Dude.
yeah. Yeah, no, I think this is gonna be really good for you. And this is oh, you were drawing over here. I didn't even notice. But
Oh, I was thinking in like story archetypal. It's like you enter the Shinto shrine. And it's like outside is the mundane world, but then when you enter,
yes,
this is sacred
dude.
space. Um, then you have like the candlelight altar, and it's got like a North Star and other things.
Oh my
And they feel
gosh.
different. I think one is like a decompress, or not a decompress, threshold.
Yeah.
This is like an intentional space, and then this is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
This is the hub.
Dude, I freaking love this.
And by the way, this is like what I did. Well, sort of. This is based on, I don't even know what to call it, but in EMDR, you're supposed to you create this like safe place for you to
Oh
go to
yeah.
be grounded, a place to put emotions. Like there's stuff there, and so I just went with it, and I added this idea of like I don't just appear in my sanctuary. I actually there's a ritual that I go through, and I arrive at the shrine. This I don't know what this structure is called actually, but I arrive there, and there's like a table. There's lockers for me to put my bullshit, like whatever emotion. Actually, I kind of want to draw that because that's kind of funny. Um, I don't even know how to draw a locker. Something like that.
Something.
Anyway, you get the idea. So like there are stages, maybe just two or three, but um, laser point. Okay. Anyway, um, yeah, blah blah blah. So I guess it's really like, what are these,
Mm.
and then what are these? This is kind of what we're talking about.
I think this is your entrance. It's like this is what your computer automatically opens to. And then you have to like click on something and then it takes you here where this could also be considered like a loading screen where it's
Mm-hmm.
like an intentional
Mm.
loading screen where it's like you click something, it takes you here, it sits you here, and then you maybe have to do some sort of task or you have to just wait and like read and like watch the loading screen and then it takes you to this. Which I think making it engaging
I
is
think a
probably a better
thing that,
idea.
yeah. No, I love the idea. So I think actually what I want from you in this isn't so much what goes in here, because I kind of want to. I kind of want to do that myself, actually.
Yeah,
But
good.
the resistance, the thing is, oh, I have to get it perfect and universal and singular and perfect, timeless. And I kind of am realizing like I do this thing where sometimes I know this, but a lot of the time, especially when it feels so important, and this does,
Mm-hmm.
I will obsess and my vision will shrink, and it's like I have to figure out the one way. So maybe I can draw. So it's like I'm here, and this is the peak that I'm envisioning, and I hyper focus, and so I only see that path. But this path might be shit, like, or it might be fine, but there are so many other mountains and paths. I don't even know how to draw a palm tree, but sure. And like a beach and an oasis, like there's many paths that I could take to get there, but I'm only seeing like one path. There's
Mm-hmm.
like one, no, I don't know, maybe. How do you do this? Do you just use a mouse?
Yeah, I just be using my mouse.
Okay. Well, it kind of works. And so like to make that more specific here, like I kind of want to ideate on what are all the different ways one could do this. What are the different things I could
Mm.
put in each of these stages? Because then I'm actually, one, having to create things, and two, I can then respond to them. I can use my gut, my intuition to see, like, okay, which of these options sounds like most promising, most motivating right now. And then, like, there's a feedback cycle of like, I try building that, and like I don't feel like I'm stuck or trapped
Yeah.
in that one option. I know that, oh, I had these other options I can fall back to. So it's like sending out a scout party. It's like first getting the lay of the land, and then yeah. Anyway, I think you get the idea.
Yeah.
Um,
You kind of want me to help you explore like other ideas, and so you can pick the right one.
I mean, even just laying this out was already helpful for me because it's like, okay, right.
Yeah.
Let's map the territory
Yeah.
and then iterate step by step, get closer, try things, experiment, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I shared this with you, but I learned like when you literally enter that mindset, that framing of, oh, this is an experiment, it like activates parts of your brain that make it like
Mm.
turn off the failure, the fear of failure, the terror, the survival. It's like, oh, this is just an experiment. My survival is not at stake.
I love that. That's cool. I want to look into that more. Thank you. Yeah, you sent me that
Yeah.
video and I forgot to watch it. I admit. I forgot
Yeah,
to
I
watch
think
it.
it was the art of accomplishment.
Yeah.
So
If I may,
yeah.
I think that something could be very beneficial to you is maybe at this step in your machine, or even at this step, like the first step. Uh, I had this idea of like basically just somewhere you have something that pops up where it's like you could literally think of it as like the devil's billboard, where it's like, hey, I'm resistance, and here's what I'm going to try and make
Mm.
you do right now. And then so you just immediately see that and you're like, oh, don't fall into perfectionism. This is an experiment, you know, where it's like literally like resistance is talking to you like, I don't know. Maybe this is your like frickin' comms that are like wiretapped or something. And so you see it, resistance is like, so he's about to
Yeah,
go through this door, and I'm gonna like try and uh get him to stop achieving his dreams by like making him perfectionist and try and get him to like think that he needs to build the whole thing instead of iterating. You know, like just something like that, where it's like you can see him
I like
yapping.
the idea of, because I kind of had this idea that it would be this like utopian sanctuary, but I like the idea of like is in the right places and times, I guess, which is kind of what you're saying. Adding that, it's kind of like keeping in awareness the devil, the shadow, the thing that you're trying to overcome, because otherwise you'll just forget and you'll live in this like fantasy land. So I like this idea of like, and also just making it cute and playful. Also,
Mhm.
like it's externalized, and I mean it's still taken seriously, I guess, but it's like way less daunting, I guess, when you can see it and be like, no, no, no,
Yeah,
okay,
and and that's how you beat resistance is just by looking at him, because you look at him and it's like,
hmm
oh, that's ridiculous, literally. Right?
hmm
So it's just about being more aware and looking at him and just observing him and being like, that's resistance, that's ridiculous, and then that turns on your dorsolateral, wakes up the CEO, and the CEO is like, bro, get the hell out of here, you know. So,
yeah.
but yeah, I th-
Um,
go ahead.
I kind of think I could wrap up here, or maybe just have some ideation, but I really am like, I don't know
Why don't we?
what would really be fruitful to go through with you. But I'm open to you suggesting anything.
Yeah, I think this is probably enough ideation, and we probably want to focus more on action so that the principle of momentum can take over. Like that's anytime you do anything new, that's like the first goal is like get it to where momentum takes over. Um, and
Yeah.
so and specifically the development, not the ideation. Uh,
Yep.
but so my suggestion here is let's come up with uh an action step or a few action steps, like maybe three, where it's like, what are you going to do next? What action are you going to take that's going to build this thing, turn it into a reality? Probably start here.
Yeah. Okay. Um, well, I've got people talking, so I'm not sure. Um, yeah. I think. Yeah. Man. Yeah. This is like the hardest step, right? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, wait. What am I actually doing? So where's text? Okay. So it's like ideate, which is really right. Uh, le- oh, hold on.
Okay.
Write the metaphors, the possible. Okay, I'm not pressing the right buttons. Here we go. All right, right. Um, steps. Right.
Well, hold on.
Come up with, yeah.
I was gonna say that's basically what we're doing right here. Like that's what we're trying to do. Like,
No, no,
what is
no.
the next
It's
step?
no, no, not those kinds of steps. I mean, like, so
Okay.
I've got like the shrine, the altar, and the hub. It's like what my other ways of
I see.
that process. It's like, but how do you name that? And then also like, what are other ways of laying out? Hmm. Alternative hub. levels. Treehouse versus
Ship. Something. Lobby. Yeah.
too zoomed out to see the cursor. Okay. And then, I mean, I don't know. I kind of think, yeah, okay, no. Let's go with list out. Well, it's two things. List out what to put in each page. I need the name. Gateway? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, we'll call it threshold or the gate.
Tori? The gate. Tori, okay. Oops. This is not great for text editing, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. No,
What
it's.
is going on here?
I don't think it lets you edit. I think if you leave it, it's done.
Press enter to edit text. Okay. Oh, my cursor is not visible. Okay, but it's at the end.
There you
Each
go.
page. The gate, alter, the hub. Which kind of falls into like, what should possible list out hubs, possible areas and projects versus like picturing environments, but something like that.
Hmm.
And I kind of want to have a document, I guess, that's just like all this like design thinking, like this idea that why I'm doing it this way, like
Your ADR.
I guess that's like a design document or
Why don't we make this the first step? Where it's like you make the ADR and then
mm-hmm.
you can kind of list out your ideas in like spaghetti format where you're just kind of brain dumping into here as you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah, that makes sense.
something I want you to realize is like you when you have ADHD, it's like you basically have a possessive default mode network where it's like you don't actually have to sit down and think and ideate about the stuff. You're going to do it while you're trying to do other things. Like you're going to be like taking a walk and you can't
Mm-hmm.
stop thinking about it. Like your brain is
Yes.
just naturally going to already do it for you. So that's
Yeah.
why we want to focus on action, because your brain is going to do the ideation and figuring it out like in your sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So just for balance. I do like the idea of listing it all out though. That's a really good action step.
Yeah, I mean, I think like what I'm probably going to do, which I'm already it's in progress, is like I'm collecting my thoughts into a Claude project, and then I'm having conversations with it. And what I see the next step is like using audio transcribe tool I have to just like start talking to it about all of this, and then to have it help me create that design document
I like
of
that.
like what are the values, principles, goals, and then to have a follow-up conversation about, hey, help me figure out like what are ways we could lay this out. What would we want to put in each of these? Because it's kind of like doing this all on my own is a bit much.
Yeah.
um, yeah,
Well, if I may, just
yeah.
remember that the more you ideate and the less you take action, the more overwhelming it's going to be. So that's just something to keep in mind. Like you might want to just take action and then see what happens and let your ideas flow from there. And then just keep doing that.
hmm
So actually,
Yeah, I do kind of want to find a balance between the two because I do have stuff that I could start working on in terms of the code.
yeah. And it's like, remember, it's okay to make it one way. And like, that's your stable version. Like, that's how you think about it. It's like, oh, I got it to a thing. I like it. It works. And then you have another idea and it's like, oh, but I could make it better. And then as long as you've
Actually,
built
you've
up,
just triggered this like memory I've had. Okay, so in programming, you have well, actually, this is a big idea. Let's see. You have like version control, right? And so in Git, for example, you have the main trunk, and then you create branches
yes.
and kind of. I'll just fucking boil it down to this. What I'm picturing is actually that the home page, the first screen of this, for development purposes, and for myself, could be that. It could be, hey, this is like, these are the experiments of how to lay this out. Let's go to the treehouse one, or the Shinto shrine gateway one, or whatever I come up with, so that I can remember, like, hey, when I'm developing this, I may have one version. Great, I created the gate, and it starts in the gate, but that's just one process of using this. Um, but it helps me have that stable version of like I know this works. But sometimes maybe I want to pick a different one, or I'm working on another, or whatever. And so I guess what I'm saying is I basically feel like I want to implement what you're saying so that I remember it because it is now part of the workflow.
Mm. Okay.
Like, hey, remember, you're exploring this landscape, you're making prototypes and experiments. Don't get attached to it. Remember, it's like this is actually part of the fun, is that I get to come
Yeah.
up with all these different ways of doing things. So yeah.
I like that. I like that. My only worry is that that could lead to a million started projects that are like not finished and you haven't actually collected data on them. And the
Sure.
way that I would fix that is I would just say when you realize that one is taking really strong traction, where it's like you're using this one and developing this one and excited about this one way more than the other ones, where it feels
hmm
more natural, then at that point, make the conscious decision to cut the other ones off and just focus on that one
hmm
and let it
Yeah,
become its thing.
yeah. There's a mindfulness part of that, and you're definitely could be a help here, just seeing it. But the other thing I was thinking is you could just
Yeah, they don't have to go
make
away.
one the default, but always have a menu,
Yeah.
like in a game. You can always go back to the hub world.
Yeah. I like that. I
Uh,
like that. Where it's like
yeah,
one automatically opens, but maybe you can take a back step and it's like,
yeah.
oh, I'm here again. There's a little bit of
Mhm.
friction, but not too much.
Yeah. The awareness is probably the one that will be the trickier one, but yeah, I appreciate the reminder.
Yeah. Well, all right, man. Was this
Yeah,
helpful?
this was great. Thank you. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Sweet.
it's just exciting to have someone who can like even engage and suggest things. It's such a big idea. Um,
Yeah.
at the same time, it is kind of practical. Like there are small steps, but yeah. Anyway, I appreciate it. It's very helpful.
Yeah, no problem, man. Just remember, like, if you could take away one thing from this,
hmm
uh, your brain is really, really good at ideas, really,
hmm
really bad at action. And so if
Yeah.
you just focus on action, like way more than ideas, you will find balance. Like if you just focus on action, is kind of how I want you to
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Thank you. Are
Yeah.
you okay with me uploading this?
Yes.
Okay.
Upload away.
Sweet. All right. I will see you next week.